Mating is a crucial aspect of survival for animals in the wild, but it's not always an easy task, especially for prey animals that have evolved various defense mechanisms to avoid predators. In this video, we will explore why it is challenging for prey animals to mate and how they eventually overcome these challenges. Without further ado, let's get started. The African buffalo mating. During mating season, male buffaloes engage in intense battles for dominance, using their large horns to fight and establish mating rights. Only the strongest males are chosen by females for mating, and mothers may even abandon their young if they sense that they are not strong enough to survive. Mating is a difficult process for African buffaloes, also known as Cape buffaloes, due to the challenging life they lead in the African savanna. Being one of the primary prey animals for predators such as lions and crocodiles, they must constantly balance the need to reproduce with the risk of predation. Furthermore, female buffaloes must protect their young from predators while also searching for scarce food and water in the savanna. Despite these challenges, the strong social bonds and protective instincts of African buffaloes have enabled them to persist in their harsh environment. Black rhino mating. During mating season, rhino females will often actively resist mating attempts from males. This is because male rhinos can be aggressive and may harm the female during the mating process. As a result, female black rhinos will often run away from males or even charge at them to ward them off. Mating in rhinos can be a complex and sometimes violent process. Male rhinos are known to be very territorial and will fight with other males to establish dominance and mating rights. These fights can be incredibly aggressive and can even result in serious injury or death. When a male rhino finds a receptive female, he will typically approach her slowly and sniff her rear end to check if she is ready to mate. If she is receptive, she will remain still and allow the male to mount her from behind. Successful mating is crucial to ensuring the survival of these magnificent creatures in the wild. Zebra mating. During the mating process, male zebras will often bite the necks of females. This behavior is thought to help keep the female still and prevent her from running away. Female zebras often engage in a behavior called teasing, where they will approach a male and then run away, enticing the male to chase after them. This behavior may help females to choose a strong and healthy mate. Once a female has mated, she will carry her foal for around 12 to 14 months. When the foal is born, it is able to stand and walk within minutes. One of the biggest threats to zebra foals after birth is predation by lions. Lions are the primary predators of zebras, and they will often target vulnerable foals. However, despite the risks, zebra foals have a relatively high survival rate, with around 50% of foals surviving to adulthood. Giraffe mating. Mating in giraffes is a unique and fascinating process, which involves a number of strange and interesting behaviors. One of the most notable aspects of giraffes' mating behavior is their violent courtship ritual, known as necking, where males use their long necks to swing their heads and hit each other with powerful blows. This behavior is not only used to establish dominance over other males, but also to attract females. Once a male giraffe has established dominance, he will follow the female, sometimes for days, until she allows him to mate. Interestingly, male giraffes have been observed attempting to mate with other males, a behavior known as homosexual mounting, which suggests that their sexual behavior may be more complex than previously thought. Giraffes' mating behavior is just one example of the fascinating and sometimes strange ways in which animals have evolved to reproduce and pass on their genes to the next generation. Flamingo mating. Flamingo mating behavior is a beautiful and unique spectacle to witness. Male flamingos gather together in groups known as flamboyants and perform synchronized displays to attract females. The displays involve elaborate movements, including head flagging, wing salutes, and marching in unison. Once a male has caught the eye of a female, they begin to engage in preening each other's feathers, a behavior that helps to strengthen their bond. The male then proceeds to perform a dance where he walks around the female with his head held high and wings extended. If the female is receptive, she will call out to him, and they will stand side by side, their necks entwined. After mating, the pair will work together to build a nest out of mud and twigs, which they will use to lay and incubate their eggs. Flamingos are monogamous during the breeding season, meaning they form pairs and mate with the same partner each year. Jackal mating. During jackal mating, the male and female engage in a complex series of behaviors that involve vocalizations, body posturing, and physical contact. Mating typically occurs between monogamous pairs during the breeding season. Male jackals will often approach a female with a submissive posture and will nuzzle and lick her genital area to initiate mating. The female may initially resist the male's advances, but eventually she will allow him to mount her. Copulation lasts from minutes to hours because the female jackal will often lock her genitalia around the male's sex organ. This phenomenon, called coital tie, can last for up to an hour, which ensures that the male's sperm is properly transferred to the female's reproductive tract. Interestingly, jackals also exhibit post-copulatory behaviors, such as mutual grooming and sniffing each other's anogenital region. These behaviors are thought to be important in the formation and maintenance of the pair bond. Ostrich mating. The mating rituals of ostriches are a spectacle to behold, with females being incredibly choosy in their selection of a mate. The females put the male through a rigorous test of his stamina, leading him on a chase where he must keep up with their impressive speed of 40 miles per hour. Ostriches are known for their unique and elaborate mating ritual. The male ostrich will perform a dramatic dance to attract a female mate. If the female is impressed with his performance, she will join in the dance and the two will mate. During the actual mating process, the male will mount the female and rapidly move his tail feathers up and down while making a booming sound. This helps to stimulate the female and increase the chances of fertilization. Ostriches are known for their monogamous mating habits, with a pair usually mating for life. Warthog mating. Mating in warthogs occurs throughout the year, with no specific mating season. Males will approach females with a series of grunts and chatters, often following them for extended periods of time until the female allows mating to occur. Interestingly, warthogs have a unique reproductive adaptation known as delayed implantation. After mating, the fertilized egg will float freely in the female's uterus for several months before implanting into the uterine wall and continuing development. This allows warthogs to time the birth of their offspring to coincide with periods of optimal food availability, which can vary greatly depending on seasonal and environmental factors. During mating, male warthogs have also been observed engaging in aggressive competition with one another for access to females. This includes physical fights, such as pushing and shoving, as well as vocalizations, such as grunting and growling. Females may also exhibit aggressive behavior towards males if they feel harassed. Nubian ibex mating. In some places in the Middle East, there are special pools where female ibexes come to drink water every day. These pools are guarded by a male ibex who wants to mate with the females. Other males also want to mate with the females, so they fight each other to see who gets to guard the pool. The male ibexes use their heads to fight and can keep fighting for up to an hour. Sometimes a third male might join in, making it even harder to win. But if a predator is near, they will stop fighting and run away because they need to be careful. This fighting and guarding is important for the male ibexes to mate and pass on their genes to the next generation. Despite the risks, mating is a crucial part of the ibex's survival, and the males will stop at nothing to secure their place as the dominant male. Peacock mating. Peacocks perform a complex dance during mating season to attract a mate. The male will approach the female with his feathers spread wide and tail feathers held high. He will then begin to strut and display his feathers, often circling around the female to show off his full plumage. If the female is impressed, she may respond by fanning her own feathers and moving closer to the male. Once the female has chosen her mate, the two will mate and the male will fertilize the eggs that the female lays. The male does not provide any parental care for the offspring. Instead, the female is solely responsible for incubating the eggs and caring for the chicks once they hatch. Peacocks are known for their longevity, with some individuals living up to 20 years in the wild. This long lifespan allows them to mate multiple times throughout their lives. Bison mating. During the mating season, male bison engage in fierce battles with each other to win the attention of females. They use their powerful and massive heads to lock horns and push each other around, sometimes for hours on end. These battles are often intense and can result in serious injuries or even death. Once a male bison has established dominance over other males, he can begin to court females. But it's on the female. She will only choose the male she finds most impressive. When a male bison identifies a receptive female, the mating itself is brief, lasting only a few seconds, but can occur multiple times over the course of the mating season. Females will give birth to a single calf 9 months after mating. The calf will stay with its mother for up to 2 years before striking out on its own. Jacanas mating. Jacanas are a type of bird found in wetlands and swamps in tropical regions. During mating season, male jacanas perform an elaborate courtship display to attract a female. Once a male has found a mate, he builds a floating nest in the water where the female will lay her eggs. After the eggs are laid, the male takes over most of the responsibility for incubating and caring for the young. In fact, male jacanas are known for their exceptional parenting skills, as they will aggressively defend their chicks from predators and other males. This is quite unusual in the bird world, where it is typically the female that takes on most of the parenting duties. This is unusual in the bird world as most bird species are monogamous, meaning they mate with one partner for life. The mating and parenting behaviors of jacanas are truly unique and fascinating to observe. Kangaroo mating. Male kangaroos often fight for the right to mate with a female kangaroo. These fights can be brutal, with the males boxing each other with their powerful hind legs and occasionally biting each other with their sharp teeth. The fights are usually only a few minutes long and typically end when one of the males retreats. The male with the strongest odor usually wins the fight and has a greater chance of attracting a mate. The winner then proceeds to mate with the female. Once a male has successfully mated, he will move on to find another mate. The female kangaroo will typically give birth to one joey per year. Interestingly, female kangaroos can delay the development of a fertilized egg for several months until conditions are optimal for birth. This allows them to time the birth of their young to coincide with favorable, abundant food and water. Hippo mating. Hippos have a unique mating behavior where the males will use their massive jaws to display aggression towards each other. They will open their mouths wide and make loud snapping sounds to intimidate their rivals. Once the dominant male has established his position, he will engage in a series of courtship behaviors with the female. These behaviors may include blowing bubbles, vocalizing, and touching noses. The male will also mount the female in the water, with both hippos submerging their bodies while mating. Interestingly, hippos are also known for their ability to hold their breath for up to 6 minutes while they are underwater, which is an important adaptation for their mating and aquatic lifestyle. Despite their aggressive behavior towards each other during mating season, hippos typically live in social groups of up to 30 individuals and have been known to display cooperative behavior in caring for young calves. Prairie dog mating. During the mating season, male prairie dogs will compete for the attention of females by performing a series of elaborate displays, such as jumping and chasing. Once a female chooses a mate, they will engage in a brief courtship ritual before copulation occurs. Interestingly, female prairie dogs are known to be quite promiscuous and will often mate with multiple males during the breeding season. This behavior is thought to increase genetic diversity and improve the chances of offspring survival. Prairie dogs live in social groups called coteries or clans. These groups contain 1 or 2 dominant males, a number of yearling males, and a majority of females. All of these members are related except for the dominant male, who would have been born in another territory and dispersed. They are known for their adorable appearance and distinctive vocalizations. Capybara mating. Often found relaxing on the beach alongside caimans or even hitching a ride on the back of an alligator, it seems like capybaras are friends with just about every animal they encounter. When it comes to mating, capybaras have a unique system in which females establish dominance over males. During the breeding season, females will fight amongst themselves to determine which one will mate with the dominant male. The dominant female will then mate with the dominant male, and other females may also mate with him if they get the chance. Interestingly, capybaras also engage in communal nursing, which means that mothers will allow other females to nurse their young alongside their own offspring. This behavior helps to ensure the survival of their young and reinforces the social bonds between the animals in the group. Their babies are born fully developed and are able to walk and swim within hours of being born.